What is going on, Boom Beachers of the world? I'm Zedmont. It is early morning here, so my voice is going to sound extra tough. We got code Zedmont happening in the box way over here. Apparently we don't. We're going to throw that in right now. Always a good idea to check to make sure you're supporting a creator. It costs you nothing. It gives so many warm fuzzies. If you're not going to throw Zedmod in, please do consider throwing another small creator in there. The smaller, the better, to be honest. Those big guys just diving into their pools full of gold. Anyways, what we are going to be doing today is doing some warships to start with. Now, a little bit ironically, this is my no instant training account. If we look over here, I'll prove it to you. I don't think any of you don't believe me, but no instant training the entire season. And as you can see, we are sitting in mid-diamond tier, just crushing it. And ironically, my account that has instant training has been parked. So this account has everything. Like, it has literally every defense except for one. We've got all of the stuff. It has been, I would say, I'm not even going to say it was backfilled because it was filled to start with. So we have all of the stuff. We've got max level critters. We've got max level rockets. We've got max level shock launchers and artillery. And I just went and maxed my barrage. I just got barrage. That was my latest purchase. Otherwise, we've got 2 sky shields. Might go get that GBE, not entirely sure. Probably, more likely, might go get some Seekers just to try and mix up some attacks. Because I feel like they could rush an engine room at some point or another towards the end of an attack, maybe speed things up. Otherwise, that's it. This is the last thing for me to purchase, is that very last defensive node, or maybe bullet. As you can see, tokens not really a problem. So this is silly. Like, fully maxed 6 engine room, and I'm just going like win-loss, 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 not putting a ton of effort or skill or anything. Now, one thing to note, this engine room over here is kind of the pivotal one. I find that this engine room makes or breaks people's attacks. You either flare into this neighborhood right about here, or you flare into this neighborhood right here. I find with people with rocket choppas tend to go over here, people with bombardiers tend to go over here, or they just completely barrage this bottom one. So if this bottom right one does not have a sky shield, do consider barraging that. That is likely your best bet, as I click the wrong button. Now, one quick note I wanted to throw out there. If you're ever, if you're ever in need of a Boom Beach calculator, and trust me, you should be, pixelcrux.com is fantastic. And I'm not making any money, or they didn't ask me to do this. I use Pixelcrux all the time. As you can see here, an engine room, if we touch this engine room over here on the right-hand side and we get rid of this infographic, 75,000 health. Now, in order to get 75,000 health, we need artillery number 22, barrage level 18. You can change that if you haven't maxed them. 15 out of 15 rockets are going to hit a 5x5 building. If you're going to go for a 3x3 building, generally, I like to go for 13 of 15 rockets. Anyways, 91 GBE to barrage an engine room. This stuff is invaluable, so good. So do make sure you check out pixelcrux.com. Best calculators for Boom Beach. Anyways, we're going to do a couple battles just because. Actually, you know what? Let's show a couple wins just in case. So 1 minute 8. Like, these times are not good, my friends. But we're winning. Like, 1 minute 17 seconds being my fastest time. 1:22 there. Kind of sucks when you lose on your fastest time. We're just going to show some wins here. And I'll show you. I feel like DCA. I feel like I know that name. I checked my Telegram and Discord. Don't see them on my list. DCA, if I know you, I apologize. Everything in my being screamed that, hey, I know this person, but then it didn't work out that I did. So we're going to back the heck off. See this? Dropping that one boat of... There's actually 2 boats of bombardiers. I feel like had I have dropped 1 boat of bombardiers, it would have been better. And that's kind of the balancing act that I'm working with right now. And this base, you'll notice that I'm using 2 boats, heavy choppas. A lot of people I'm seeing are using 4 and 4. Do consider mixing it up. I find that 3 and 5, 2 and 6 just works. And so more damage, more damage, more damage. The fewer the number of rocket choppas you use, the more damage you're going to have, the more GBE you're going to have. So that is my reasoning right there. Going to try to find one of these bases that are just, that's not it. Those kind of bases are fairly straightforward, just a matter of trying to get a better time and distance, and I feel like I'm skipping over. Maybe I'm losing against all the bases that I'm trying to show you. This base, this is the kind of base that everyone has, so there's all sorts of different ways to do these. I like to hold back a little bit. We're going to drop all of our stuff here and trying to shock. I mean, there's a cannon, a shock launcher, and a doom cannon. So just throwing that shock out there and then clearing. This right-hand side, like we can shock that rocket, that shock launcher. I find that people, if you hit that corner of that boom cannon, typically it's something a little bit more valuable, but you can shock all of those things. And I probably overuse critters, but I find that not a ton of 6 engine rooms have critters at this point, and I also over-clear mines. Now we're going to rush over here, and I like to flare right in the middle, hoping that my troops are going to split. If I can have my troops split here, it's perfect. I've got 1 bombardier, 3 bombardiers going left, the rest going right. Decent split. We lost, but that's kind of my goal, is to get some troops going one way, some troops going the other way. I think I need to start barraging engine rooms. I have not yet barraged an engine room, or barded an engine room, I should say, this entire season. So that's going to be my focus on this next battle. We're going to BART that engine room on the right. I have no reason to go over there at all, so I'm going to go boom and boom. Then we're just going to hang out for a sec, make sure we get some heavies out, and then I'm just going to drop every single one of my bombardiers on this left-hand side, just trying to get, see how that mortar shot at that heavy? That's exactly what I was hoping and dreaming for. We're going to clear that mine there, then I'm going to bring 1 more boat of heavy choppers across. One other thing, I dismissed medkits this season. I then went and maxed my medkits because I had way too many tokens, and you know what? Maxing medkits gave me a ton of victories, made my progress go through the roof, and the reason for that is because you can overheal a rocket launcher, and as soon as you can do that, everything gets better. So if you're sitting there with a ton of tokens and you're sitting there, how many? I needed 4 barrages, 3 artillery. So there is 1, 2, I need 1 of each, I think. So actually no, I need 2 more barrages. So now I'm just going to hold onto my gunboat energy. We're going to get rid of this engine room over here using nothing but GBE, and hopefully that's going to speed things up just a touch. And I don't know that I'd have enough gunboat energy if I used 4 boats of heavy choppers, so that's why moving down to 3 is going to make all the difference in the world for us, I hope. It's also going to let us avoid that shock blaster and that rocket launcher, and then we're just going to move up into this neighborhood, trying to get away from those things. Need 1 more barrage, and that should finish off this base as long as we can get in and back. Things are looking pretty quick. The fact that we've missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different buildings, the fewer buildings you have to clear, the better off you're going to be, because that's going to be less time standing around doing nothing. Fairly obvious stuff, but I find that the obvious stuff isn't necessarily quite as obvious as one would think. So we're going to keep cruising on into here, hoping to get a darn better time by mixing up all of our strategies. I have used a total of 1 shock this entire battle, so not a ton of shocks are needed. Saving some gunboat energy there, most definitely. Now we just need, see this? That heavy chopper right there is doing magical things. Now we just need to get this last flare out here, get that final engine room down, trying to beat 122, and sure enough, changing your strategies, working out well. So 129, beat my fastest. It's not a good fastest time, to be completely and utterly raw and open with you, but at least we got better. That's the goal of Warships. Is I finally looked over my replays to give you guys some, I wanted to look them over before talking you guys through it, then I realized I am wasting so much gunboat energy. So all I can say is thank you to you guys. I guess I never watch replays unless I'm going to share them with you guys, and so by doing that, suddenly winning, moving on up. Now I'm somewhere on the Canadian leaderboard, I think. I don't tend to pay a ton of attention to this. Where are we sitting at? 51. So just out of the top 50 Canada. Not bad at all. Hey, Blaker. I know Blaker. Big shout out to Blaker. He played in our task force for a long time. Incredible player. Like, incredible. Hey, Chicken. Another shout out to Chicken. Dude is legit. Coming in hot there, Mr. Chicken. I probably should go upwards, I suppose, instead of downwards. Let's see if I recognize. I love seeing anyone whose name is Mini. I just assume they have another account that's higher. So there's DCA. I knew I recognized that name. Another good Canadian kid. Let's keep going upwards. Orion. Let's just look at Orion's base. Just check this out. Parkity park. One quick note. I wanted to scroll up. Where is it? J Doom Dose, which I assume is Commander J Doom. Check this out. This is one of the coolest things that I've seen this season. I don't know why I think it's cool, but mini base HQ. What is this? HQ 14 obviously has the Admiral's key, but this is the cool thing about Boom Beach. With warships, they've made it so basically anyone can play, and J Doom DOS, rather than he had the ability to create a second account, or he or she, I should say, by simply, I guess I should just say they, duh. Anyways, they have a second account, and I found that to be completely awesome, that's a low HQ level. We're going to do one more battle, see if that barrage engine room on the right-hand side is going to work out for us. Clearly, there could be a sky shield there. Now, one other quick note. Every single season, if you let that matchmaking spin for more than 4, 5, or 6 seconds, you're going to get a different level engine room, and I don't ever like to do that. So in this case, we can't do what I was just talking about, unfortunately. So I'm going to go something like this. We're going to go 1 and 2, and then we're going to wait a quarter of a second, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and Mr. Kavan. I hate Kavan. I mean, he does little tiny things for us this season, but overall, Kavan never comes through the way I would have liked him to. The fact that he revives heavies from the rock heavy choppas just kind of disappoints me constantly. So not sure what you guys feel about that, but I just don't really enjoy the fact that he revives stupid troops that I don't want him to revive. So obviously you can watch when your bombardiers die and click the button early in the attack, but just doesn't do it for me for whatever reason. Anyways, now that we're getting, if you're wondering what I'm doing with the rest of my troops, I have a plan. Also, the fact that he goes up there and heals those heavies kind of bothers me. Now that we're deeper into it, I'm going to wait 1 or 2 more seconds. Then we're going to drop just like this. We're going to get those bombardiers and that heavy chopper going off to that right-hand side. Now that that's done, going to get hopefully rid of this meddlesome whatever the word I'm trying to say is here, and hopefully get rid of that stupid shock blaster, because shock blasters bother me to no end. That's why that's sitting there, because it's in a great spot and it's going to piss you off and it's going to take some of your troops, and thankfully we managed to finally get rid of it. See that medkit right there? Over healing like a mofo. Definitely lost some of our dudes. Uh-oh. Wow. That Doom Cannon and Boom Cannon and Shock Launcher managed to take out all the stuff on the right. I've never, ever seen that before. Huge gaff on my part. Speaking of medkits, let's get one more medkit out right there. I slept on medkits for so long. I had them unlocked. I was just hoarding my keys. So at some point in the season, you have to reevaluate your key spending. I found that my keys had already been spent and I was just hoarding my tokens for no reason whatsoever. So do check out your tokens. You likely have more than you'll need for the rest of the season. At that point, go spend them. You will not regret it. We are going to lose this battle. One other quick note, if you force close as you're about to lose a battle, make sure that you've got all the engine rooms down. Don't troll your opponents. Then don't come back until your chest is ready. You will start your next chest with 6 out of 8 engine rooms. Great trick for people who don't have instant training, because it just saves you from losing some troops. I, this season, have not spent any diamonds since getting bombardiers and heavy choppas, just finding that I don't need to spend diamonds because I don't lose enough troops. You wouldn't guess that based on this battle, but there's enough reserves for those bases that not a problem at all. We're going to throw a shock right about there, just trying to get some critters in to get rid of that ridiculous shock launcher. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think I dropped them a little bit too late and they're not far enough in, but maybe, just maybe, we can get in there and get rid of the stuff. This is overly embarrassing. We're going to lose all sorts of troops in about 3, 2, 1, right about, there we go, shock launcher coming in hot. So Just need to finish off this base. We had a great battle, and then I just had a terrible, terrible battle. I figured for sure this whole right-hand side could be done without me paying any attention, and boy, oh boy, was I wrong-ski. So we are going to get all the engine rooms. I am not going to force quit because it's going to be way too long before my next chest, but just wanted to throw that out there, that is a trick that you can use. I don't consider that an exploit at all. It's just the game mechanics. So if you think that's not fair, do let me know. I will stop doing it. But Woodman just giving us the wood, and it was not good at all. So next up, we are going to switch over. I'm going to bring... I just can't get enough of these Clone Riflemen. Looks like we got raided while I was out, which is good. It probably means we got some diamonds. Very, very likely. Let's have a... Oh, they did not give us any diamonds. How rude of them. As Michelle? Stephanie? Michelle. With a lot of full house in my house these days. Anyways, we're going to drop these Clone Riflemen, and we are going to pick up all of those rewards, trying our best to get our Clone Riflemen maxed by the end of the week. It's not actually possible because of problems with the token system, but we're going to get as close as we can to max. I had a theory. Let me know if any of you have the bandwidth to check this out. So let's just quickly look at these token numbers. So if we check out these tokens right here, we got 30, 40, 55, 75, 100, 130. Not bad. War Factory is about similar. I think that Dr. T, I think the rewards for Hammermen, bear with me here, I think the rewards for Hammermen and War Factory and Imitation Game were all set up. Those numbers I just showed you. And then what they did was they set up the exact same system for Dr. T and then forgot that Dr. T happens twice a week. So if any of you have the time to look back over the rewards for Dr. T, Tropical, or Volcano, let me know in the comments if they were doubled, if it would make things make sense. Because the Dr. T stages are the only ones that really have a problem. And I think that if they were doubled, then everything would be Gucci, as someone once said. It was actually me. It was me. Me. We're going to get all of our barrages on this back Imitation Game system. Do let me know if you like these mix. I'm probably going to throw in an operation attack towards the end of this video, doing some warships, doing some Imitation Game, talking about game mechanics, game setup, all that sort of good stuff as I get a meeting reminder. I've got a meeting in 15 minutes. Need to speed this up. Let's get going. Also, just trying to... This whole life, work, vacation, summer, YouTube balance is just murdering my face. And I find that YouTube is the first one that loses. So thank you for all of you who have been patient and with me over the summer, because it's just so much going on right now. And I just can't wait for my kids to go back to school. I know it's a terrible thing to say, or it's moderately terrible, but I feel like a lot of parents are in that situation right about now. So we're going to cruise through these stages. My Clone Riflemen have not been popping. Now, someone mentioned they're like popcorn riflemen because they just keep popping up, and I love that analogy. And if I had time right about now, I would go get that Dr. T commercial where he goes pop, 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 talking about your brains. But just don't have the bandwidth at the moment. So I would love to do that right now, just to get that ridiculous pop, 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 and overlay it with the Clone Riflemen, but that's probably not going to happen. So maybe next time they come out, I can remember to do that. Let's keep going, trying to get a difficult stage. Stage 1... Honestly, for max level players, Imitation Game is a bit of a joke, and we're not going to talk about that because everyone knows my thoughts on that. And just a reminder, I hate the fact that they hid the players' names, because that just breaks my heart a little bit. That was the best part of Imitation Game, was the chance of seeing your base there. And now if you saw your base there, people will be like, no, that could be anyone's base. Anyways, also, I kind of feel like these are just not important to Supercell. So let's go. Just trying to rush all of these dudes in there. Battle Orders rushes them to their death, which is fantastic. And down goes stage 6. No smokes, no flares, no medkits, no shocks. Just cruising through everything easy peasy with the lemons and the squeezy. let's get going. I'm curious to see where I'm at as far as the upgrades go. Let's go check that armory out. Armory is at... See, just can't max them, unfortunately. If, by the way, my... what's this thing called? My submarine on my other account, the Zmod account one we started with, just gave me an iron safe. And if you're not going to get a building blueprint, the iron safe is about the best one you could possibly get, because there's going to be a ton of iron needed for HQ25. I kind of assume that this is not me giving you secret inside info or something like that. I just literally assume that everything's going to cost more iron than you could ever imagine. So we're just going to cruise through stage 7. No reloads, no problems. And yes, I know you probably could just barrage all of the engine rooms and get all 7 stages, but what's the fun in that? Then you can't watch your popcorn shrimp popping in my head. Is that Corn Pops? Yeah, Corn Pops commercial. Anyone who remembers that, throw some kind of corn emoji down. Someone's got to remember that. I'm not super old. Come on. Anyways, I said I was going to do some... Oh, Operation Attack. We will pause. I'll be back in just one moment. Okay, back in action. Boom, Tuber, Zmod, another one of my accounts. This account is one that has strange statues. I alternate the statues all sorts of different ways. In this case, I've got, what's that? 6 damage, 3... Is that 7 damage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 damage. It means that I need to be very, very cautious when using gunboat energy. This account is in a task force that's only doing Foxtrot. Should not be a problem. Also, no rockets over there. What the heck? So we're just going to drop quickly. I should have used brick. Bullet is not the right choice for this. Also, I should have checked to see if those rockets range over here. I'm going to guess that they don't. I don't even think I want to wait. I want to just rush back there. But we're just going to drop... The problem is I want my Bombardiers to die. We're just going to drop all of our stuff here. We'll hang out for a sec, farm a little bit of gunboat energy. Now, this boom cannon, you don't need to clear that. I just always do, because it's only 3 GBE, and I hate it when I flare or path wrong. So we're just going to cruise into here. Going to drop Bullet a little bit late. If you're wondering why I'm dropping Bullet late, it's just to save him from himself. He likes to die, and we don't want him to die. Throwing that flare right there, and now I'm going to flare all the way back there because I like to do the long javelin flares because I'm... Uh-oh, that's not a good idea. This is not going well. This is not how I was intending to end the video. And just a side note, throwing that long flare was stupid because now what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to pause right about there because Bullet is going to be way too quick. And that was not super duper smart on my behalf. So we're going to go 1 and 2. I don't think behalf was the right word there. And just bringing this home as I'm rushing to make it to my meeting on time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit stupid. We're going to flare there, flare there. When you have this much damage, this is a terrible, terrible idea. But I like to do a free snipe. Anytime I can do a free snipe, I always take advantage of it simply because it's ridiculously fun for some reason to me. This is old school Boom Beach. How Boom Beach used to be played before people figured out all of the bases. It was all about all of the free snipes, and for that reason, anytime I can pull off a free snipe, I always do it because it makes me feel all nostalgic and warm and fuzzy inside. Kind of like when someone uses code ZMOD. Silly. Anyways, if you do stick around, please check out the final page of this video showing off the Patreon supporters. Have a new supporter in there, Mr. Carson. Also some long time supporters that have been with the channel for a long time. So big shout out to my supporters. Love all of those peoples because without them, this channel would have way fewer adult beverages. Anyways, that is all for me. As always, thanks for coming in as we do a potpourri of booming of the beaches. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm Zmod. Peace!